So, hi, we are Muffin Schmertz Baked Incorporated, and this is our presentation about solving power outages.
So I'm Kayla.
I'm Addison.
I'm Leo.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Sam.
So we, Muffin Schmertz Baked Incorporated, are set on reducing the amount of power outages in low-income areas. It is a very serious issue that affects millions a year and can cause power to be wasted and resources to be destroyed.
The problem we are trying to solve is power outages across Las Vegas.
So, as of 2022, 30% of energy is unnecessarily wasted in construction or just around the house in general. This means that power that could be used in emergency services like hospitals or fire departments goes down the drain, or, if you will, out the outlet.
So now that we understand the problem, we still have to figure out how exactly we're going to solve it.
So our original mock-up was very different from the final prototype that we ended up producing. So the prototype here that we have the fuse box that will be in your house, and then our actual model is the plug-in that goes into the fuse box and the remote control of the digital recorder.
So, how our product is going to work. So, the plug-in has a built-in multimeter, which is going to read the electricity flowing in and out of the fuse box, and it's going to send the input to the main drive. And when too much input is received from one specific breaker, like let's say you left on a light in a room or something, it's going to notify the remote or your phone, if you have it hooked up to your phone, that that needs to be corrected. But if you're having like a party or something, you can tell it that you're going to be having a party for this span of time, so it won't notify you.
The device will also notify you if it has low battery or if there's a memory or storage problem. And the main goal is to reduce emissions and outages, as well as being a warning and control system for helping save energy and money.
So now that we know what the product is, we still need to figure out the statistics.
An estimated $4,100 will go into producing our product. Around $100 will go into actually making the products, i.e. materials, while $4,000 will go into maintaining the systems and advertising, as well as the labor costs for repairs, which will amount to $92,391 in yearly profits. Out of that, around $90,000, we will donate $80,000 to charity.
So here's some reviews for our product that people left. If you want to read them, feel free.
After those informational slides, you might be thinking, why should I choose these 12 to 14-year-olds? Well, even though this is a fictional solution and this affects nothing on our grade, this is a serious problem that needs solving. If we continue working on this in the future, here are our plans.
What you're seeing right now is our future predictions and what we plan to do for the coming years. As of right now, we are rapidly growing. In 1 year, we'll gain an estimated 11% yearly profits. In 5 years, we will be making $600,000, where around $500,000 will go into charity. And in 10 years, we strive to become the #1 power outage company protection in the U.S.
And here is just a visual aid to see the difference between our product and others similar products. And ours is clearly better both in terms of environmental safety and cost.
And here's a more in-depth explanation between the difference of our product and the leading brand.
And finally, coming on screen is the resource sources that we use to provide the most accurate information we could.
Thank you for using our presentation. Is there any questions you guys have?
We were trying to figure out a team name, and we were using this like team name generator. And the word muffin popped up several times. And one of us, I don't remember who exactly, it might have been Sam. So we brought up Phineas and Ferb. So we got Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated, and those things sort of fused together in a very strange way.
Awesome. Thank you.
It has nothing to do with our product, but it's still cool.
What was the most challenging thing about your experimenting your product?
We couldn't quite figure out how exactly we were going to produce this. We could not figure out the materials we were going to use. Obviously, the materials that we used are not going to reflect the actual product, but it was still very difficult to come up with.
As far as rolling out your product, do you guys have like a segment of the biggest population that you want to start with? Have you thought about that?
So we're going to mainly go for like low income, as Kayla said, more low income areas, and then sometimes you can go for like homes or like smaller companies, and then if we get to our goal of being like one of the #1 power outage protection services, we can start going into like other bigger companies.
Any other questions? No. Ms. Ronzek, any other questions or anything you need to let them know?
No, thank
Can
you.
you guys smile for me real quick?
13 presenting Spire City by
Isaac.
Jet.
Felix.
Lucas.
And Ruben.
So, you may ask, what will we be doing? Here at Red 13, we're planning on making a city that is energy efficient and sustainable with a low carbon footprint. In this city, we will have several large conical spire buildings for businesses to be in. We also have a bunch of apartment buildings. They'll be cylinder shaped, and several communities of homes, and also a very large 20-acre mass hydroponic system to grow food. So, what will we be doing to make the housing sustainable? First, we'll be building more vertically and horizontally to be more spatially efficient on the ground. We'll also use a large solar panel over the whole house to create shade, so you're saving electricity on cooling and also generating more electricity. We will also have windmills on the house to generate more electricity, and we will build the houses out of recycled materials such as compressed plastic from the oceans so that we can get garbage out of the oceans at the same time as building a sustainable city. We'll also make the houses relatively small and have more places to be outside so you're not wasting as much electricity. And these houses will cost roughly $150,000 to $325,000 because they'll be around 2,000 square feet. It may be on the higher end of that scale because of the cost of adding solar panels and windmills.
And for the inside of the houses, instead of using your ordinary light bulbs, we'll be using LED lights because they use up less electricity. And, like Lucas said, we'll be using a more cylinder design for the apartment complexes because cylinders, regardless of the material they're made out of, are structurally sound. And instead of using, and inside we'll be using showers instead of baths, no baths, because they use up a lot of water, unless by special request.
Like if you can't stand so you need to use a bath, then we can install one.
So for food, we'll be using a mass hydroponic greenhouse, which is a bunch of hydroponic systems that grow plants by spraying the roots in nutrient-rich water. The water is then recycled back into the system, and the humans only have to turn on the systems. Hydroponic systems are spatially efficient, as you can have a lot of them in a very small area. All water is saved, no soil is used, and very little human energy is given. So for foods, we will be growing wheat, beans, seaweed, tomatoes, potatoes, onions. We'll have chicken eggs and other plant-based products. The greenhouses are large enough to reasonably hold and incorporate animals into them. So inside we'll have fish, chickens, mussels, sardines, and we'll have bison stored outside the facilities.
And there we have a Tinkercad of the mass hydroponic system. We can
Just-
explain that.
So there'll be a pumps on the bottom which will take in water, which will then flow right through this tunnel, which is going through these pipes, which is bringing water to the plants right at the roots. And for energy, we'll be having 2 to 3 windmills on each house, along with a solar panel that can move around to find the sun easier and open up. We're using more electronic things in the city, so then we won't be using greenhouse gases. So then we won't be releasing greenhouse gases.
And then for our business plan, one of our houses would need about 1,450 kilowatt hours a month. That's 2 kilowatts per day for 30 days. Our houses would only need 25, but if we added 5 more, that would be 30 solar panels, and we could generate 1,800 kilowatt hours per month. We could then sell the extra 350 kilowatt hours for 15 cents to other cities for energy, so we're also making them a little bit more sustainable. and that would be $54 a month. We would have about 1 million people living in homes, so that would be 250 homes, four per house, for $13.5 million monthly. We would rent these houses just for other bills, not including the solar panels or windmills, since we are using that for energy, so we're not making them pay for it. We would have about 1.6 people living in apartment buildings, which would be about 10,000. We would also have that would make our total of 1.6 million people in our city. So that would be roughly 51,000 businesses, because that's about the size of Clark County. That's about how many businesses they have. So we would say we would need roughly about 61,000 buildings for all of this. So, and we could roughly fit 3.2 thousand solar panels on each of the building on the walls that could rotate to see the sun. So that would be 195.2 million solar panels for all 61,000 buildings. If they each generate 2 kilowatt hours a day, that would be 390.4 million kilowatts per day. For a whole year, that's 142.5 billion kilowatts. Our city only needs 121.1 billion kilowatt hours. So then we could sell this extra 21.4 billion kilowatts to then generate $1.8 billion if we sold them at 15 cents per kilowatt hour. We could then use this to expand our city to make our own water source to be fully sustainable. This would also be used for repairs on the solar panels or wheels or anything that breaks down. For how much everything costs, like I said, 2,000 square foot homes for 4 people, 250,000 homes, 1.6 million residents living in apartments, 10,000 apartment buildings, 2.6 million residents. Each home would have roughly 30 solar panels, 7.5 million solar panels in total for all the homes. That would be 3.2, each building has 3.2 thousand solar panels. That's 195.2 solar panels for 61,000 buildings, 202.7 million solar panels in total. If we bought these at $22 just the solar panels, nothing else, it would be $44.5 billion. Each house would be roughly $1,800, not including the solar panels, for $45 billion for all the homes. Each building would cost roughly $300,000, not including solar panels, for $18.3 billion. Our giant mass hydroponic system would take up roughly 20 acres, and it would cost roughly $4 million. We're not calculating how much land we would have to buy to build a city, but for everything in our city, it would cost $68 billion to make that back. But since we're making $1.8 billion monthly, it will take us roughly 37 years, as shown on the graph. And at our 50-year mark, we would make $22 billion. So at that point, we would expand our city to have our own water source. And the bottom graph shows if we could plug in a number for X to see how, if we wanted to make $22 billion, it would take us about 50 years.
So for marketing, we'll use social media ads, ads on websites, newspapers, billboards, blog posts, introductory offers, and word of mouth, and basically everything we can get our hands on, as we want everybody to come and enjoy our city, and we don't want to discriminate against people who may only use the internet or only use blog posts or newspapers or things like that.
So, why you should choose us? You should choose us because our idea is more energy, space, and cost efficient than many other ideas out there. We also have a unique idea using both spires, houses, and apartment buildings, along with a large hydroponic system. We also have a good team and a well thought out idea, so we'd be able to carry it out with ease. In conclusion, Red 13 is the best choice for an energy efficient city.
Here is all our sources, and thank you for listening.
I have a question. Have you guys identified a location?
For right now, we would want to be roughly close to the Hoover Dam for now, so that we can have our own water. And then after, it would be pretty far away, so we can still make our own water source when we need it. And we could also be near other cities, so that we can also share the water with them.
I just had a question about the graph. You said after about 37 years, then you would make $6.8 billion. Is that the point where the company would be profitable?
After 37 years, that's when we would start to make money, after we pay back the $68 billion that we got.
Okay. So your initial startup investment, like where is all that money coming from?
We would like to use government funds and also investors. Okay. And so we said roughly 37 years or maybe 38 years, because of course we have interest that we might need to pay back. And so it's not calculated in the graph, but we do know that about it, so that's why we said 50 years is when we can start making our own energy source, because maybe that $22 billion needs to go to interest.
Okay. What are the challenges that you see with starting the city?
So obviously it would be challenging to buy the land because land is kind of expensive, but also maybe getting the loans from the government that it would take to build a city, because cities cost a lot to make.
I would also say it's going to be a challenge to get all the manpower to build it all at once. To build 61,000 buildings, 250,000 homes, and then the mass hydroponic system.
What was your favorite thing about the project?
I really liked the prototype. I just realized that I didn't share it. Get it.
And while they're fixing out, we also, or some of us, Ruben made the hydroponic Tinkercad, which was one of our models. Felix made the apartment Tinkercad for us. I made the graphs. Jet worked on a bunch of research for us.
So this house model has a solar panel that can tilt towards the sun so that it can always get energy as efficiently as possible. And we've also got windmills that can spin so that they can to demonstrate how our windmills will work, kind of.
How it'll
I have a question about the Spire homes. What was behind that? Are there actually those kind of homes in existence right now?
Well, we wouldn't be really making Spire homes. It'd be more for keeping businesses in them.
Got it, okay.
But there are many Spire businesses, or at least many examples of Spire businesses in other cities. Not necessarily in America, but they are examples for us to choose from. Mostly in Dubai.
It's also kind of how our idea started, was with maybe some some Spire buildings, and we just wanted to branch out from there to include homes, food, water, and just make a whole city out of it.
Any other questions? All right, thank you guys.
I apologize in advance, we're kind of nervous, so we might be stuttering a little bit. We have nightmares. I'm Emily.
I'm Angelo. I'm Cameron.
I'm Alondra, and I'm Abby.
So here's the table of contents of everything we're going to go through throughout the presentation. Our introduction, once again, us and our grade levels, and here's the problem.
So there are 467,000 buses that were used in America alone last year, and this has numerous problems, but we're going to be tackling the amount of wasted resources that come along with all these buses, mainly considering the fact that buses only last 12 years. So this is only one generation of students. A kid could ride the same bus from first grade all the way to 12th grade, and past that point the bus is deemed not safe enough, it's not up to a high enough standard to be used anymore. And these buses pretty much just get tossed away, and we believe that there's some problems with that because these are, they have a lot of high amounts of, machinery, a lot of valuable resources that can be used. And there's problems when it comes to just like melting them down and trying to like turn it into something else, because that also produces much more carbon emissions, such as when it comes down to tires, you can't just burn the tires because they'll burn for days and they'll just release a lot of CO2 in the air. So we don't want to just destroy these and repurpose them, we want to actually reuse the bus itself. And this is more about it. The Department of Transportation says that buses can cost anywhere from $250,000 to $280,000. And if we multiply that by how many buses were used last year in America alone, that gives us this number. And this is a pretty highball estimate because everything loses value over time, So these buses obviously would not be worth, $250,000. But this is still an estimate on how much money is just being wasted once these buses are no longer used. And so that's our problem, and here's our solution for it.
So since in the near future, lots of these school buses are going to be going green, lots of different countries are trying to produce different cars like electric cars and school buses that are not going to cause fossil fuels to go into the air and help be a main factor of climate change. So we thought of what would happen to these school buses after this happens, once all school buses are going green. So we're like, how about we turn these school buses into tiny homes for the homeless, like a homeless / RV park, and we're gonna give them vouchers like in our normal homeless shelter that they can give it to us and come and go as they please. And we're assuming that the school districts are going to not want these school buses because they would already have to purchase green school buses. So we can take them off your hand, like the whole I forgot the name of it. Shipping containers, sorry. Shipping containers, they were being used throughout several years, and once they were no more used, they were just kind of sitting there and taking up space. So people started taking them off the company's hands, like, hey, I'm going to turn this into a tiny house for myself or other people. So just all going through like our ideas, repurpose the buses, turn buses into tiny houses, recycle and sell the excess materials, use every piece of the bus we can, and sell or reuse the bus engine. The bus engine typically costs up to $5,000 to $10,000 per engine, and we were thinking that we could sell it to help pay for the cost of trying to make the school bus. Also, the school bus inside, we're going to try to make it a type of a green like home. And
this is how we would implement this into our world. We would implement this into our world by putting them in large groups to create a homeless shelter. This would be very useful to our large homeless population in the U.S. and Nevada alone. In the U.S. alone, it is 30% of the population who is homeless. In Nevada alone, it is 6,500 out of 3.14 million who are homeless.
So the way we would be advertising this project would be to put up billboards as well as put up posters along bus stops.
So this is our prototype. It would have solar panels along the top to power everything inside the bus, and then there would be multiple lined up to create sort of an RV park that we would use as a homeless shelter. We would give out vouchers for people to come and go as they please, and we would also team with the food shelter to restock every basic need in the bus.
That's it. Do you have any questions?
Do you have people in mind to help you build it and make it green?
Like just saying like, are the workers who are gonna help build? I was just assume maybe like volunteers. If not, we would probably have to make it our idea like a type of company in order to hire and pay people for helping us build the buses.
Do you have an area where you would?
Yes, we would like to purchase a plot of land that we could put the homes on. And if other people wanted to volunteer, like, hey, you could put a home on my property, we could also do that. Yes.
Is the name Nightmares like the name of your team or the company?
Oh, the team.
Okay.
We just
the name
couldn't
of the
come up.
company.
Yeah.
Do you have
Okay.
We kind of didn't. We ran out of time to come up with a name, so we just.
Yeah, because we couldn't think of like a good name, so we just kind of just like thought of the Nightmares, which was kind of like a weird name, but we didn't really think of like a name for the actual like our idea.
Okay, because I was going to say, like, if you're providing housing for homeless people, it's actually more of a dream versus a nightmare, so it's a little contradictory.
Yeah.
How much would it cost to rebuild a single bus?
So we're not going to rebuild the structure. The idea that we have is to save the school bus structure. Like, we will probably cover up half of the windows in the school bus or take them out and cover them up with like wood, because you don't want like 5 different windows in your bathroom. So we're just going to keep like with the shipping containers, they kept the structure of the shipping container as the foundation of the home. So that's what our main idea is, and we're going to take off like the tires and reuse that throughout the house, because like Cameron said, when you burn tires, it causes a lot of like gases to go in the air that can help be a factor in climate change. So we're just trying to reuse and think of everything we can to help build homes.
Any other questions? Awesome, thank you guys.
STEM tank by the 5 years. Emily's recording. The problem, carbon emissions are at all-time high. Carbon has a 421 ppm compared to 280 ppm 10,000 years before the Industrial Revolution. Every year, 35 billion
billion tons of carbon are emitted into the atmosphere. Deforestation has been a big part of the problem. Before the industrial age, the Earth has had around 6 trillion trees, compared to the 3 trillion trees we have now.
Our idea. These houses will be underground and will be made out of bamboo that can grow in greenhouses in the desert. Most of the money from this product will need to go into digging a hole that is 45 by 50 square feet. For constructing the houses, the hole will be 11 feet deep with 1 foot of dirt on the top. A fun fact about bamboo is that it grows back very fast, so you can have a big supply. It is also cheaper than wood.
Outlook. Our company's vision is to make a house for innovation that helps the world with clean energy.
Projects for renewable energy. The market in 2022 has grown by 16.6%. In 2022, the renewable energy market was valued at $870.6 billion. By 2030, the market is expected to be valued at over $3 trillion. Renewable energy is expected to grow exponentially, increasing its growth rate every year.
Supplies. Bamboo. Bamboo is a good material because it grows fast, is strong, and cheaper than wood. Concrete. Concrete is a very strong and sturdy material. Granite creates a countertop for the kitchen and bathroom. Cabinets for the kitchens and bathrooms. Tools to build and dig the hole for the house.
Finances. Are you thinking of how much will this cost? With labor and tax, the average cost of these houses we are going to make are about $500,000. The average cost of other underground houses is $18 million. This product will be sold for $750,000 for about $250,000 in profit. The product will cost less than the average underground home because the material normally uses wood. We are going to use bamboo, which costs less.
Marketing. We will be advertising our house on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook.
Our customers. Our customers is people who are interested in investing in renewable energy for the better of the earth.
We hope you consider our idea. Thank you.
Can I ask, do they have any questions they want to ask?
Do you have any questions?
Can you show us this?
Okay, so this would be our bamboo house, and then these are the ways our house is going to get energy, and then this brown box would be the dirt, and it will show insulation because the dirt is going to be a foot above the house, so it will insulate the house better.
Do you have an area where you'll be digging?
Not yet.
Okay.
What was your favorite thing about the project?
Probably figuring out the cost. Do you guys have any more questions?
Engineering Rebels present the Rebel Crawler.
Our inspiration for our project was from Star Wars: A New Hope. With it, we hope to use it for research purposes and exploration purposes.
Our mission is to create a community that can sustain life, lower carbon dioxide emissions, and efficiently use and produce energy to make it self-sustaining while giving us the tools to explore and conduct research.
Our vision is to make a successful project that will allow us to do the necessary research to help us eliminate carbon dioxide emissions. The problem is that no houses in Nevada are fully self-sustainable. The graph here shows that how high the CO2 emissions have risen since 1980.
For this semester's STEM Tank, most teams are creating communities, houses, or cities that are already completely self-sustainable. But how exactly we're going to get to that point? There's still a lot of research and exploration to be done first. That is why we have created the Rebel Crawler to be a mobile research facility. So our solution is kind of like a stepping stone between where we are at now and where we hope to be someday.
The Rebel Crawler is the beginning of getting homes to becoming completely self-sustainable. It is a 4-story mobile building that will have scientists, field biologists, and other researchers and engineers to work and live on the RC. There will also be a command group on board to help us navigate through and over rough terrain, but it will also be able to go underwater.
We'll have 4 main energy sources: hydropower, hydrogen energy, hydroponics for food, and in case all those fail, we have backup diesel engines.
Hydropower works when water goes through a specialized pipe called a penstock. It goes to the penstock and then goes to a turbine which spins a generator creating electricity. And we used to use this energy.
Hydrogen is used in fuel cells to generate energy through a chemical reaction rather than combustion. The cells will produce electricity by combining hydrogen and oxygen atoms. They will react across an electrochemical cell, similar to a battery. As byproducts, it produces water and heat, which are definitely necessities for those aboard the RC.
Hydroponics is the technique of using water to grow crops instead of soil. Hydroponics has many better qualities. The crops have better quality, higher crop yields. It's more conservative with water, and it requires less labor. The system shown on the screen is an aeroponics system, which uses 95% less water than traditional growing and 20% less water than other hydroponic systems. The 4th floor has the control room, the hydroponics, and the garden. The garden and the hydroponics are both used for growing the food.
The 3rd floor will house the cafeteria, a large research lab, multi-purpose room, storage, and the main loading dock, with several ramps and ladders to get things to and from the ground.
The 2nd floor will have the individual quarters, the public bathrooms and showers, the secondary storage, and the secondary loading dock.
The 1st floor houses the majority of the electrical systems. It houses the hydrogen and hydropower sources, along with the backup diesel engines. The hydropower will be used for when the RC goes underwater.
We'll have 2 main materials, aluminum and stainless steel. We can use stainless steel where strength is more needed, such as the interior structure, but we don't want to use it everywhere because it's heavy and expensive. So in its place, we can use aluminum, which is a lot lighter and cheaper for just outer covering. This plus all our power sources, we estimate this cost to be about $13.6 million. However, this cost excludes the price of all the interior finishings.
The pros are it is research-oriented, mobile, and it uses many different renewable energy sources.
The cons are it is very expensive, takes a lot of time to build internally and externally, and we must use fossil fuels as a last resort. However, we still believe with all this it is going to be a benefit for Southern Nevada.
So this pie chart shows how we'll distribute our money. Just to name the most important, we'll put 15% into production, 10% into insurance, and then a total of 35% into structural building.
Marketing. So we hope to be getting government funding, as well as funding from companies that are supporting green energy projects such as this one, as well as the funding from the nearby communities.
Why us? We are devoting time and energy to this project. We are dedicated to creating a world that is more eco-friendly, and we are ready to take on any challenges that come with this project.
Thank you for your time. Any questions or feedback? So this is a robotic control. This is not to scale. It's to show how the driving system will work.
So this 3D printed model is to scale.
Thank you.
I might have missed it. How big, tall,
It's going to be about 40 feet tall. So it'll be shorter in the back and taller in the front.
Do you guys mind just clicking back a few slides so I can get some pictures of you just randomly? Click back, perfect, doesn't matter. And then answer questions, that's fine, sorry, that's perfect.
What is the main focus of research?
Well, the main focus is just like how we can use our environment here in Nevada to, well, we just want to make sure that it's, our communities are safe and that we use the correct renewable energy sources. And so that's like another part about this research is we don't know exactly what is the biggest benefit for Nevada, and so we want to learn more about that. So.
What are the challenges that you see with this? trying to build it and stuff?
It's definitely going to take a lot of time.
Okay.
And probably a lot of the funding. Because if we don't get enough funding, then we're not going to do enough. But we only think we're going to build one, so then that way we can just like clean it out after a mission or research group is done with it. So
The product is very expensive, so we might see trouble in like maybe convincing one of the green energy companies to fund our product. But other than that, we don't see many complications.
Can you guys go back to the very first slide? And then can I get a picture real quick? Thank you.
So we're 05. I'm Scout, I'm the build manager, so I just help to build everything.
I'm Jade, I'm the team leader.
Hi, I'm Kara, I'm the slides manager.
I'm Paige, I'm the note taker.
I'm Zanaya, I'm the problem solver.
We aim to create a less polluted environment by filtering out the dirty air and replacing it with clean air.
So this is our TinkerCAD model that represents this. So the air, the hole is where the air comes in and it comes out filtered.
So we had a lot of different problems, and one of our main 3 problems was gas from cars, as when they run, they release a lot of different greenhouse gases, which affect our different areas. And then we have people, as we literally cut down trees, and we also release a lot of different greenhouse gases. And then we have the Willow Project, which the Willow Project is a plan to sell the northern part of Alaska and put oil drilling in it, which would release 9.2 million metric tons of carbon pollution into our environment.
What is our project? So our project, as Paige explained, is a fake tree made of environmentally safe materials, and the air goes in through the hole and it comes out filtered into the atmosphere, and it's powered by solar panels. So this is how our workers are paid. CEOs are paid 30%, managers are paid 20%, builders are paid 10%, and then media managers are paid 10% as well.
Who will we charge? If inside the U.S., we will charge the governor of that state. If outside the U.S., we will charge the president of that country.
Our business plan. So the resources that we would use are tungsten and reinforced fiberglass polyester. This is because not only is tungsten man-made, but it's also one of the strongest materials on Earth. So if our tree had to go through extreme weather conditions like a hurricane or a flood, it would be able to do that. Also, for the reinforced fiberglass polyester, that's what wind turbines use for their blades. So if our tree had to work overtime, then it would be able to do that as well. The money portion of this, we would need $1 million a year from the government. This is so that we can continue building our trees and putting them out in the world and making sure that they keep working. Profit. For example, if we were to make 10 sales a month, that would be $100K a month, which would lead to $1.2 million a year. These numbers come from shipping and taxes and all those different things that go into making a product. And then our project is a discrete air filtration system that we'll put all around the globe. Now you might be asking, why us? Well, for one, we'll be able to fix the atmosphere without changing people's everyday lives. So a lot of people say, oh, stop using a gas-fueled car, or oh, stop using a gas-fueled stove. Well, with our tree, you don't have to do these things. Instead, you can keep living your everyday life, and you don't have to change anything, and our tree will fix everything for us. And then two, our company, well, our tree will stay working, it'll stay doing its job, it'll stay out there. But we will kind of go into the shadows, sit back, let our trees do the work, we'll make sure that they keep working. If they don't, then we'll be more out there, but while we're kind of in the shadows, we won't be so demanding.
This is our sales graph. So currently we have no sales because this isn't exactly a product out there, but eventually we would love to have our trees all over the world.
So we want to start in the U.S. and then eventually just work our way up into different countries.
In 2023, we would like to get our product introduced into the world. In 2025, we would like to get more sales and introduce into different states. In 2030, we'd like to have top sales rate around the globe, and in 2050, we'd like a cleaner and less polluted environment.
So we envision a world with little to no pollution, as though this is a lot of people's dreams because we pollute a lot, but this is what we aim to do with our tree.
Thank you. Do you have any questions? And these are our sources.
I have a question. What is the cost to manufacture one tree?
To manufacture one tree, that'll be about 1K.
How many trees do you need in a city to make a difference?
Because our air is really polluted right now, we would definitely need a lot. 10 a month wouldn't really be cutting it, right? So this project would have to go on for a couple years, 10 a month, in order to actually make a difference.
And just one more question. You mentioned the Willow Project in Alaska. Is that an actual project that's happening?
It is an actual project.
Okay.
It just got approved, I think, 2 months ago.
Okay.
So then your target audience would really be like homeowners, and what's the scale of the tree? Like, could I put it in my yard?
Yes. So
It comes in different shapes because we do want it to blend in with its environment. Therefore, you can have it as like a smaller tree, a bigger tree. It just have to be more condensed.
The material that you would use for this tree is called?
tungsten and reinforced fiberglass polyester.
And where would you make those?
Well, tungsten is a man-made material. Mostly it's made in China, so we would have to have that shipped here, but that's where we would have that. And then we have wind turbines, which use the reinforced fiberglass polyester, so we would already kind of have that product already made and being used. Thank you.
Alright, this is a Camp Climate project. So, hello, and so this is the amazing Camp Climate project, and so water is really scarce in Nevada, and it's hard to get to and we don't want to run low on it, so we've created a water filtration system, which is right here on our prototype. And it will take all the excess water from your house, from like the bathrooms, the kitchens, like the sink and washing machine, or like from watering your plants, and it'll go through the pipes in your house to the water filtration system, which won't be on your property, so it doesn't take up space, and it'll clean the water so that it can be reused to the point where it's drinkable. And so it'll be sent back to your house so it can be reused. And then when you start to run low on that water, then we just add more in, but only a certain amount. And then our house also just happens to run on solar panels, and we have a garden too with lots of plants and greenery to reduce, to get rid of greenhouse gases so the air is cleaner, but fake grass because it takes a lot of water to keep the grass alive, but grass is still pretty sweet and fake grass. Our mission is to reduce the water and electricity shortages in Las Vegas. We reduced water consumptions of our facility by 2.25 billion over the last decade. Our plan for water shortages is to shut off water use for single-family residences that use more than a half an acre-foot of water, roughly 163,000 gallons each year.
The problem. The average Las Vegas home uses about 130,000 gallons of water per year. In July 2022, the water levels at Lake Mead were at 1,040 feet, the lowest they have been since the lake has been constructed in the 1930s.
Alright, so now that you know the problem, we've created our solution, which is our water filtration system, so it can clean your water and so we're not wasting any water that isn't necessary to waste. Alright, so let's get to business. So what's our overall plan for growing our business? So, we're gonna sell our products to businesses who are like selling homes or making them and construction companies too, and we can all work together and partner with other companies. And so, what will we invest in?
So when we get enough money and start improving our business, we're going to make improvements on like helping other customers. So if somebody says that like their solar panels shut off, then we would like fix that as our top priority, and make sure to fix it on all of our other houses too, and those towns and cities, so it's not a problem and figure out what happened. And how will we compete with other already made products? So we're really easy to work with, and we are also going to start making commercials and things on billboards, and we're just going to like spread the word, like everybody will know.
Our house saves water and energy by collecting and recycling water from parts of our home, by using the recycled water to water our plants and the garden. Marketing plan. We will work with other companies that specialize in building house. We plan to work with companies that design and animate, so we can work on making ads people will make. Our target audience is young adults buying their first house. If people buy our Camp Climate house before any other house, then our business will get more recognitions, and our business will lead to more low carbon footprint houses. We are different because our team is extremely easy to work with, and we will always put customers first, and we will make sure there are no problems with payment or anything else. When it comes to our future plans as a company, we expect to sell at least 500 homes in 10 years. We will then use the money we will make to improve our design, build, and it is more owner-friendly and or eco-friendly.
Also, normal houses in Nevada like this are about $400,000, and we're making ours around $300,000 or $350,000. All right, so quick summary of what we've done so far. And what's happening is that water is scarce in Nevada, and we don't want to run out of it, so people waste a lot of water, so we've made our solution, which is our water filtration system, which cleans that water so it can be reused, and we're not wasting water.
Why choose us? With Camp Climate, we're easy to work with and easy to contact. When you go with Camp Climate, you get all of these promises in writing, and very much cheaper than other companies in the same field.
All right, so we are Camp Climate, and so we have Ariana, who is our team leader. She's not here right now, but she came up with the idea for making a self-sustaining garden to reduce our carbon footprint. And she made the decisions for our group and was just an amazing group leader to kind of hold us together and help us with that. I'm Mia, and I'm the slide specialist. So I'm the head of decoration, and I decorated the table, so you can, and the slides, kind of put them together so you can see what you see now. And I also came up with the idea to add solar panels to save energy.
I'm Pauline, I'm the co-team leader, and I came up with the renewable water.
I'm Katie, and I'm the constructor, and I'm good at building and constructing our prototype, and I keep the team motivated, and I thought of adding century lights to our build to waste as little energy as possible.
All right, thank you for listening to our presentation. Any questions or comments?
So for the water filtration, is that, you can only get that if you buy the house, and that's not sold as a separate unit?
It's when you buy the house, it's just automatically built in, so it just pretty much comes with the house.
Okay.
Any more?
Do you know what kind of filtration you'll be using?
Like, I'm sorry, what do you mean? Like,
What kind of, so the products that you'll be using for the filtration?
Oh, no, we don't have that yet.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
How much does that filtration system cost when it's added onto the house? Or is it just one price for every?
It's just one price for every house. So like, you buy the house and like it just comes with the system, and then we use some of that money that you used to buy the house to run the system.
What was your favorite thing about the project as you were building it and creating? Like, where did those inspirations come from?
I don't know, we kind of went with it.
Group effort?
Yeah.
But overall, we enjoyed building the house together and like mostly the garden because it's the main part of our project.
Good job.
Hi, we are Walking Energy. I'm Aaliyah. I'm Hoda.
I'm Melissa.
I'm Michaela.
And I'm Ivy. We have been asked to build a way to support Earth's power grid with green energy. To start our thoughts, we have a similar mechanism to the hamster wheel, using physical movement to store and power whatever we need. We want you to get up and take some steps for your own energy instead of paying for resources on Earth to power your needs.
When we first started out, we wanted to sketch it out in our notebook, and we just wanted to see how this would fit out in shoes and how we could put it in different ways to spark people's interest and how it would make sense to work.
Our main power spots in our shoe are the spring and the heel, the battery to absorb energy and store it, and a USB cord to transfer the energy in and out.
These are some of our starting ideas.
People with all different style tastes should be able to take part in saving the earth. Throughout, we try to offer commonly known shoes.
Here's some more options that we would want to open up.
We want to influence others by how they can see the generators reaching out from their soul. We encourage everyone to work for what they want. Exercise is very important, and we want to promote it for Earth's population.
Here are a couple more popular design shoes.
So throughout our presentation, we wanted to include all these styles that would interest everybody, not just one specific style, but we wanted to attract everybody, and this would also help encourage exercising instead of just getting your energy through monthly bills. We want you to walk for it because that's such a common thing. Like, nobody doesn't walk. You walk throughout like your house, you walk everywhere. Like, maybe a potential thing is we could get slippers because people still walk around your house. Like, you walk every day. So this would be a good way to support both things. It decreases the power bill by increasing exercise.
Here are a couple of casual and comfy design shoes. Our prices range from $95 to $245, depending on the size, if there's any special designs, and if there's additional platforms.
This would be because, as you know, most Nikes or Jordans or even just most types of common shoes, these prices are going to go up because multiple people in multiple groups are buying them. So if we were to cooperate with any of these brands, these prices would be higher. But also, if you think about tiny computers inside your phone, this is why they keep getting more and more expensive, because you're changing the sizes but still opening up more data and just how people would like them. So this is what we're doing in your shoe.
So slip on your walking energy and take your family. As soon as you're done, you're all set for another couple of days of energy without burning any harmful materials that can pollute the air. Our team hopes to give this earth a fighting chance and help the problems that grow more harmful every day with walking energy. We will meet the requirements so this design is profitable, unoffendable, comfortable, stylish, and healthy. This is why you should invest in your own pair, from our soul to your soul.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions?
I have a question. I just want to make sure I understand. So you put on these soles, and then you're generating stored energy that you can then use in your home?
Yes.
Okay.
So our idea was, it was hard to make a visual representation. We just wanted to show you how it fit under our platform. But a way that we tried to show it in the presentation is that
you'll have a spring in your heel since you start walking like this. And just like our hamster wheel mechanism, or when people like even ride bikes to power their television, like you would start using momentum to like move it through how we would build it. And it would just store it until you're done walking, and then you can plug it into the power grid or how you want to use your energy for like your house or anything. But it would also just, you'd have to walk often, which would help exercise.
So this is an attachment to the shoe, or is it a shoe?
It's built inside of the shoe.
Okay, so
Yes.
are you going to have your own shoe line, or are you going to promote this to?
We would promote it to sports advertising.
Okay.
We would have partnerships.
Awesome.
See, this was trying to show that we would have like a platform. It would be safe. Lots of questions that we've gotten is, would it be dangerous if it was in water? Well, we would hope that you would try not to, but if there's any accidental like things, it shouldn't be very dangerous unless you're like completely trying to get any way to get water in there, because it would be very
It'd be sealed.
Secure.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
What about the body weight? Does that have a factor on on when you're walking?
just as like sizes change for people's foot size. If you have a weight, I mean, I don't know if that would change, but if you would like to, say if we have a website and they would like to comment, hey, I'm this certain weight, I would just want to make sure that this shoe would be designed and sturdy enough to hold it. Yeah, we can put some extra supports in, but it should already, it would not be flimsy where it would just break through, because this is a small, yeah, it's cute.
Any other questions?
All right, thank you.
So our team name is Rainy Days, and we created a hydro plant nozzle.
The problem, how much water are we wasting? How much water is wasted on plants?
Water is the most important resource. Quite frankly, all life on Earth would die without it, so we need to save it and protect it. Nevada wastes about 330,000 gallons of water a day. And about 70% of that is lost on plants, mostly due to incorrect water waste, like we can see on this chart. We need to do something, and we need to do it now.
The solution.
Our 6th grade STEM tank team developed this hydro plant nozzle to support those who are wasting water outside. The nozzle includes a hydrometer and a nozzle. This is for outside plants only and not for inside plants.
We envision less water being wasted outside, along with thousands of users buying and benefiting from our product.
We cannot make water wasting go completely away, but we are thriving to offer an approach to help you learn all about it. More importantly, we want you to learn that water wasting is not okay and should be avoided. We cannot ensure that all water wasting will disappear, but we would like to ensure you of a way to make you happy with the amount on your water bills and also the growth of your plants.
This is our product.
And right here it tells you the type of plant and where the hydrometer should be.
This around so that you guys can see it. Oh, okay.
The business plan.
Who is our customer? Our customer is Southern Nevada. What is our current market? Our current market is about $38, and how big or how much customers we have? About 85% of our class said that they would buy our product.
You should choose us because we are different than many competitors, because many competitors only have the nozzle itself, but we also have the hydrometer, which tells you how much water you're actually wasting on the plants. We will have warranty for 1 year, and we won't have any extra/add-ons. The nozzle will look like this, and the cost to make it will be $38. How we will distribute it is on Amazon, Lowe's, and Star Nursery. We will also put ads on the television and computer.
Our cost per unit is $38. Our retail product price is $45.60. Our retail profit per product is $7.60. For example, if we sell 10 nozzles, we will get $76 in profit.
In the next 12 months, we're hoping the cost will go down once we even out. In the next 5 years, we're hoping to add an app for you to know about your watering schedule and more information about the nozzle. In the next 10 years, we're hoping to add a sensor in order for it to be able to water itself. In the next 20 years, we're hoping to be making 10,000 models, and if we sell 10 a week, we're hoping to make $76,000. We will not fail by any new technologies that are coming up, like the sensor, into the nozzle. And we will sell our company to Amazon, Lowe's, and Star Nursery if they want to buy our product. Let's see. This is an innovation because it takes something that already exists and changes up in a little different way. And it's also different because it has a hydrometer and an app that is going to be later in the future while many people don't have this.
I'm Jaden, age 12, I'm good at customization in the nick of time, and I'm also a data collector.
I'm Esther, I'm age 12, I'm good at art and being the group leader.
I'm Jaden Perry, age 12, and I'm good at building.
I'm Riley, I'm age 11, I'm good at designing.
Thank you for listening to our STEM Take presentation.
Any questions?
Do you have any questions?
Actually, I'm curious about the nozzle and the actual adapter you have to it. Where did you guys get that?
The hydrometer itself?
Yeah.
It sells at Star Nursery for $21.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you guys come up with this idea?
Well, it took a little bit of experimenting to get the idea.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah. And here we have even more and how lately it's dropping and the ones and everything.
So could you actually maybe in the future use this for actual gardens too?
Yeah, it's supposed to be used for gardens. We're hoping, this is just the prototype, but we're hoping that the little stick thing will be able to go longer. So then you just have to put it in and not have to bend down or anything.
Right. Okay.
So yeah.
I have a question. Is your meter measuring the amount of moisture in the plant as well as measuring the amount of water coming out of the nozzle? Is it too full?
No, it just measures the moisture that is in the soil.
Okay, got it.
Any other questions? All right, thank you. Are you ready?
So our product is the BGC dome, and we are energizing ink.
Today we will be going over the problem and how we intend to fix it, our plan for the problem and how to fix it, the impact it will bring on the people of Southern Nevada, and the overview of our product and the
Intro. Create a more friendly, eco-friendly green city.
Understanding the problem. Before I can give you our solution, you need to know what the problem is and know why it's a problem. Southern Nevada needs a new way to reduce their carbon footprint, which basically means we as a whole want to lessen the amount of carbon dioxide and bad emissions that are going into the atmosphere, going into the ozone layer. Every single living thing on Earth needs these gases, either carbon dioxide or oxygen, to live. Everything needs those cycles, otherwise there would be no life on Earth. Considering that the levels of carbon dioxide and oxygen and bad emissions that are going into the ozone layer, and then we breathe those things in, that they're unbalanced now, is really bad, basically. Current solutions. Georgetown University has some examples. These examples may seem small to you, or may seem small to, may seem small to your family, but if everyone as a whole did it all together, then our carbon footprint would actually go way down. Some of these consist of turning off lights, your fans when you're not using it. I use my fan when I'm sleeping, so I turn it off during the day, and turning off your computers when you're not using them. and what we want to do. We plan, okay, so I'll go back to current solutions. Some of these examples consist of turning off your lights, turning off your computers when you're not using it, turning off your fan when you're not using it. Me personally, I use my fan while I'm sleeping because I like the sound and I like the air, so I turn it off during the day while I'm at school. What we want to do, we plan on making an underground community that healthily involves biogeochemical processes. These processes are a part that I learned about in ecology and biology class. It consists of the phosphorus, the water, the sulfur, and the energy cycles. And these all together cause life. And without these things, we would not have circle of life.
Slide deck number 2, our plans. So what's the deal with our BGC domes?
Our solution, the marketing we will do is we will make a website, post it on social media about BGC dome, and present it on Shark Tank for the publicity. The prices for the BGC dome are going to adapt to supply and demand, but we will be taking 70% of what we make and putting it back into the BGC dome so that we can make it better for living in it. And we will be splitting 30% between ourselves and our sponsors. It will be $2,200 a month per living space / house, but that can depend on outages.
Our competition. So we have researched 3 different other examples that use the same idea, basically just underground living. The first one is Darren Kuyu, the underground city that is designed with tunnels found in 1963 from the source next to it. Seattle Underground City. In 1889, there was a great fire in Seattle that created a huge area above ground. So basically what the people living there did is they created a city above it and a city right below it, one underground and one above. And this created double the living space in the same amount of area, which is also from Seattle Abandoned City, that source right there. Dallas Underground Tunnels. This is a series of underground tunnels that meet kind of like a subway route, or like one of those mouse games. You put the mouse and you have to find the cheese, right? So why is our BGC dome better? Instead of a tunnel system, our ecosystem is more like a bubble, as you can see with our prototype right here. Tunnels are an idea that have been the same, hasn't been updated since the 1880s, as you can tell from Seattle Underground City. And our idea focuses more on the future instead of the past. Tunnels can be very unethical, unsafe, and unhealthy for its population. Some examples of these things that it can do is it can rain. The soil can get really heavy and really strong, and first of all, in Nevada, our soil is already really hard and really heavy. So once it gets heavy, the tunnels can collapse after time, collapse on people. The tunnels can break, like I said before, and it can be very unhealthy for your lungs. It can trap bad emissions, bad gases that go and get trapped into the soil before they get back through the plants and then eaten and go through the cycle again. And then those people breathe those things in. It's very bad for you. Carbon dioxide and phosphorus. This product will last many years because it doesn't fold under pressure. So basically what happens is we use almost like a diamond titanium material, and we use Newton's third law of motion, which, as you know, is every force gets a equal and opposite reaction. So when, just like a bubble, when oxygen, not a bubble, balloon, sorry. When oxygen is pushing out, other forces are pushing back in. And so when they're forced against each other, they don't move. And so it stays in place and it stays strong for many years to come. Our product is eco-friendly because we use recycled materials to make it, and it is safe for you.
Our supporters are Greenpeace Fund, Rainforest Alliance, and Friends of the Earth, and these are all charities focused on being cleaner and helping the Earth.
Part 3, the impact. How the BGC dome impacts Southern Nevada.
Societal impact. After COVID-19 and quarantine, people are being encouraged to meet again and go outside and live how they used to pre-COVID. It would have a serious benefit. Cooperation. People learn how to work together and commute together and work and grow as a community. and testimonials. It is especially important to pay attention to psychosocial factors associated with underground environments, as more people are likely to work, commute, and shop in such spaces, and that's according to the source at the bottom of the screen.
29% of people use renewable energy. Renewable energy helps our earth stay cleaner and greener. This was as of 2020 according to the International Energy Agency.
Part 4, conclusion. What is this product going to do for us, and where is it going to take us in the future?
Overview. The solution. We want to create an underground city that involves biogeochemical cycles throughout. The function. The BGC dome will create a closed ecosystem that contains the BGC cycles to contain a clean ecosystem.
We are energizing Inc. with Gabby Hawkins, Alex Boyas, Nelly Godinez, Kasha Spivey, and Devin Law.
Do you have any questions? Do you want a goodie bag?
Yes, I think they want a goodie bag.
Okay. Last call for questions.
How much is it going to cost?
Well, first of all, we're going on Shark Tank to get investors, so it kind of depends on how much they give us. And then we're also going to get other investors, like people with a lot of money, basically, who want to do good. We bring in the money, and then we determine what is the cheapest but also most effective and efficient route. Anything else?
What are the biggest challenges that you see in building the city?
I personally think the biggest challenge that I see would be waste. Because we do have waste plantations that we're using on the side. Although I feel like every week you have a trash day, right? For your community. You put it in the garbage can, and you bring it out, and everyone takes it out. And it goes away, basically. What we're going to do is we want to do that same thing with the waste plantation, but I feel like traveling through that soil multiple times a week, unless we build almost like a tunnel system, but we don't want a tunnel system because of the reasons I showed you that it can collapse and it's actually unsafe. So we have to build a system that'll make it so the waste can travel up and below every week about, so that we can make sure everything stays clean and make sure everything stays taken care of.
Great job.
Thank you. Okay, so I have these printed, so the little codes on the back, so make sure you pay attention. I gave it to you.